Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Bushcraft Bums. If you're watching this, congratulations, you're a survivor. I didn't really hurt my arm, all right. But for today's demonstration, I'm gonna be attempting anyway the challenge, a one-arm fire challenge. So I'm gonna put this out there also to the rest of you guys. Anybody who's watching this, you want to try it? Let's do it. All right. So what happens? Can you still do fire prep and get your fire ready even if you only have one arm? So this is going to be a little challenging.
So this is a what-if video.
A what-if
What
scenario.
if you're out, in the bush and you severely injure one of your arms, incapacitate yourself. You really only have one good hand to work with at this point.
Absolutely. So you're giving yourself a handicap. As you know, it's hard enough to make a fire, the right way and get it going. So what now if you're incapacitated? It's a good thing to think about and a good way to train. Just so if you're ever in that situation, you kind of know how to deal with it. Another tool in your belt, So let's give it a go. I've never done this before, so we're going to give it a shot. All right. So I think I got some sticks over here. I just collected. We can break those up for kindling or whatever. The first thing I'm going to try to do is make some shavings as a tinder source. All right. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my knife and I'm just going to kind of slam it down into the wood here. I'm going to give it a couple little taps to make it secure. And I'm going to try and get me some just use my hand without even realizing it. Try to get me some feathers there. All right. So I'm just going to try to work with the bevel of the knife to kind of get some nice fine shavings.
I think we should stress that a sharp knife is imperative.
Yeah, if you're trying to do this with a butter knife, it ain't going to work, guys.
You gotta have your sharpening skills intact to be able to do this.
So I don't know if you can see, I'm actually getting some fairly good curls on there. It takes a little getting used to not being able to kind of play with the knife the way I want. I'm going to balance this log out a little bit. Get as many as I can here. It's going to take me a while to get all this going on. I apologize.
No, I think this is quite.
This is realistic, though.
It's hard. It'd be very easy for me to reach over and grab those shavings, put them back on top. But it's kind of like, it's kind of defeating the purpose of this video.
This is painful.
So me and Buck just get to kind of sit here and
chill. You can mock me. That's the best part. So I want these to be able to take a spark, so I'm trying to get them really fine. It's very, very difficult with this in this scenario. Let's see if I can try this other angle. It would answer a little better.
Might have been a better idea to put that knife in closer to you. So you got more of the log or whatever surface your knife is embedded in for the.
I am going to come closer to the log because I feel like the log's moving under the weight of my draw.
You know what I'm saying? And then the shavings would stay on top.
Yeah.
You actually have a slight downward grade on that log too.
Yeah, it's kind of all the shavings are kind of falling off.
But once again, we're simulating a real life.
Yeah, trying to see
scenario.
It is getting a little cold though, so just want to hurry that up.
Yeah, it's
any old time.
Well, and legit, if you have an injury, you could be starting to go into, starting to get the shivers or anything like that.
It's early spring here at our camp.
Yeah, so.
And once the sun goes down, it's a nice chill. It's a nice chill.
Let's see what we got here. That's a meager pile of shavings there.
You got a lot on the ground there, John.
Let's see what we got over here. A couple over here. All right, so I think in the interest, I'm trying to do this. I'm gonna pull these aside and make more because I don't want to keep losing them. That's gonna hurt down the road. So I'm gonna throw these in another use for the handy dandy hat.
Another use for it.
Right. All right. So let's see. Try this. Another little piece of wood here. See if I can get it.
Interesting factoid about what John is using his hat for right now during the Civil War, the American Civil War. They had a bunch of, as you well know, there's such a huge variation of hats. unicorn in the Civil War, right, Johnny?
Yeah.
Right, Buck?
Yeah.
And one of the favorite hats of the Union Army, they were called it was called the bummer cap.
The Iron Brigade hat?
No. The Iron Brigade hat was the black felt with the side. A bummer cap would be more like a kepi.
Okay.
Okay, but really what it was in the 1850s the United States Army was very much modeled the uniforms after the French Army. So they had these kind of like tall cloth shako type hats, but they took the stiffeners out, so the kepis kind of like just fell
Flopped
over.
yeah.
Yeah, and they called those bummers hats because you could actually put stuff if you were foraging for food in the surrounding area. You could put berries in there, or
So it's like a gathering basket.
right. And then they call it they actually call it the bummer cap.
And I've used my hat to kind of gather berries and stuff more than once. I think I kind of got a knack for this now. What I'm doing is actually, rather than pulling the knife against the blade itself, I'm pushing the square ends of the wood against the bevel, almost like I would if I was actually really carving a feather stick with both hands. And it's kind of giving me a little bit of a better product here, I think.
So you would say, as time is going by, you're getting better at it.
Yeah, getting a little. Who would have thought, right? Practice. This is why we do this.
Imagine that.
Well, what's this say? What one man can do, another can do?
What one man can do, another can do. If you guys have never seen The Edge, check it out. It's Anthony Hopkins' best movie. What one man can do, another can do. That or
Kill a bear. I'm
that-
gonna kill a bear.
I'm gonna kill a mother effing bear. It was that or Remains of the Day, probably Anthony Hopkins.
Oh yeah, that was such a
I
one.
love that one. Yeah, that was pretty great.
What was that about?
The Butlers or something?
Butlers?
I think so.
What was his name in that movie? Anthony Hopkins' name in The Edge.
Richard something?
No, Charles.
Charles.
And what's his name?
Oh, what's
Baldwin?
it? Yeah,
Baldwin.
Alec Baldwin was it?
Don't tell me what to do, Charles.
Tell me what to do. He was such a jerk in that movie.
He really was, man.
All right, so I feel like I'm kind of getting a little bit of a hang of this. I'm going to give this a couple. I don't want to bore you guys to death watching me make shavings for an hour and a half.
This is a valuable, skill though, John.
And guys, this is in real time. This is real time stuff here. This is not, this is real time me struggling making feather sticks.
And this is just not something that you can't.
I switched my hat to just below the log so I can just kind of sweep these off, try to catch what I can. And compared to the amount of time that I've been doing this and the amount of shavings I have, it is grossly disproportionate. If I had both hands, I probably would have whittled up 1,000 quality feather sticks at this point. But
What since we do have this time where you're actually getting, I can see it right before my very eyes that you're smoother.
yeah, it's a little better. Yeah.
But what would you say is your favorite outdoor movie?
Oh, good question.
I like The Edge.
The Edge was great. The Edge is great.
I love the Man in the Wilderness.
Man in the Wilderness,
original
yeah,
with
yeah,
Richard
yeah.
Harris, not the remake.
The Revenant.
Yeah, no.
Couple of really good ones that not a lot of people know about.
Is that one with Gregory Peck? I think it was Gregory Peck. This kid. You were telling me about?
Oh, is that the Earthling?
Oh, that's William Holden, right?
William Holden, yeah, the
Yeah, yeah.
Earthling, and Ricky Schroeder when he was a little kid. If you guys get a chance to check that one out. That was really good. Kind of a Australian outback adventure. Another really good one is Snow Walker. If you get the chance to check that out.
Captain Fantastic.
Captain Fantastic really gets an independent film. Hunt for the Wilder People. All good stuff. All right. I'm going to give this a little more. And
Remember back in the day,
Wilderness Family?
Wilderness Family, where all the animals were
It's like every animal was like waiting to kill people.
Like cougars,
The bears, everything was
wolves,
like ready to
anything.
It was the best. That's what the sad part is. When I was a little kid, that's how I thought it was, like being out in the woods. I thought like everything was just waiting to kill you.
Who's that Safari
That's
show?
turned into Doc Toddy?
Doc Toddy.
I'm trying really hard not to use it. All right, I'm hoping that's going to be. It's not a lot, but I'm hoping
See
it's
what
not
you
going to be
got.
good enough. Might be enough to take a spark at least.
I think you get a spark. I don't know if it's enough.
What I'm going to do, I got this little piece of boo here. I want to give myself a little bit of an advantage with some, maybe try to make a little bit of flash tinder.
Watch that hand. Make sure you're not using
Yeah.
that injured arm there.
Trying not to. I'm going to just try to use the spine of my knife. Get these fine bamboo curls.
That's nice. Can you do it into the hat?
I
Pain in the ass, big brother's telling me what to do.
Yes. Don't tell me what to do.
Charles.
Don't tell me what to do, Charles.
Go carve the spear by yourself.
And why is the rabbit unafraid?
Because he's faster than the
No, smarter.
Smarter than the panther.
Smarter than the pen.
There's an advantage of having a good square, sharp squared spine on your knife, is you get these kind of like, you can kind of use it to scrape.
I tell you what, I'm really starting to love that knife, man.
It's really a multi-tool, man. It's excellent. And you know, the beautiful thing about that, I could use my blade to do that too, but it's real. I'm going to need to sharpen my blade after. So by using the spine of my knife to do this, I'm extending the life of my edge.
This is one of those things that you don't think about, you know, when you're thinking about bushcraft, you know. But injuries do occur out in the wild, and you know, you might be alone, and this could be a factor.
A little more of this.
Now, Buck, you went to Philmont, right?
Yeah.
Scouts. Buck's an Eagle Scout. Philmont, New Mexico, for 12 days hiking, right? 12-day hike.
Yeah, it was just it took about that much. 2.5 weeks.
Yeah. And did you make fire every night?
No, a lot of the sites were, fires. So by the time we got there, you know, we ate dry food.
Well, you
trail
carried
mix
all
and then fell asleep.
Yeah. You
But,
basically carried all your food in with you.
There were a couple of larger base camps we made a fire at.
Out west, I know when it's really dry, a lot of times they have fire bans. You know,
It was very dry there.
We're kind of blessed here in the Northeast. We don't really have that problem, at least for now.
And when you base camp, it's your own property, your
Yeah,
own
you can do
house.
whatever
You don't
you
have to
want.
worry
Yeah.
about starting
Exactly.
a fire. It's okay.
And I mean, we're using a fire pit, which is pretty responsible. I mean, most places, if you have a contained fire, will allow you to have a fire.
And we never take it for granted, too, who we're talking to. You know, the experienced bushcrafters know. You know,
Yeah.
the general public, those those people not familiar with our ways, you know, might not be as responsible as our community is, you know, as far as making fires.
Yeah, always gotta, you know, make sure you fire, you can control it.
Let's pour more lighter fluid on there.
Yeah. All right, I think I got enough as far as that goes. I'm gonna try to break up a couple of these little twigs here. And put this away before I actually really injure myself. Giving this thing a workout today. I'm gonna break up a couple of these little twigs, and then we're gonna see if I can't just get something going here.
It's called lighting fluid Boy Scout water.
Boy Scout
Boy Scout water?
Kids in the troop. The Scoutmaster would light a match, throw it on the thing, and just squeeze the whole bottle.
Now, Buck, let me ask you.
That's how you make a fire.
As an Eagle Scout, the time in your Scouts compared to your couple of years we've been doing bushcraft bums, where would you think you've gotten more sort of usable wilderness skills?
I have nothing bad to say about the Boy Scouts
I
of America.
would expect not.
I think that is an accurate summation.
Okay.
That what he said is an accurate summation?
I think that about sums it up. I have nothing bad to say about them.
I
won't.
you know,
I
me
certainly-
too.
yeah.
I have nothing
I'm
bad to
using
say
my hand
about
there. Sorry,
mine.
cheated for a second. Sorry, guys.
I love the Boy Scouts of America. I think, you know,
It's changed a lot since I was in the Scouts.
Yeah.
When I was in the Scouts, I mean, my there was a lot of old school camp knowledge being passed on. You know, my Scoutmasters were veterans from Korea and World War II, and they were, they had a lot of sort of camping knowledge to pass on. I think Scouts a lot more about community now than it is really about wilderness.
Which isn't necessarily a bad thing.
It certainly
but
is not.
Definitely not as robust as it was.
Yeah, I'm not saying I have nothing. I don't know if you guys know this. I volunteer for the Scouts regularly. I do wilderness first aid for the local Scouts a couple of times a year in my neighborhood, and I get along really well with them. Sometimes I'll go on a little these like wild edible hikes, and I'll go on them and stuff like that. And I have a great time with the Scouts. I
Just
feel like
last week, I went and gave an hour talk on the Battle of Gettysburg to a Boy Scout troop. I was assistant scoutmaster while Buck was in his troop. But I went to their troop is going on the Gettysburg camp out, and I talked about that battle, get them psyched up for the trip. I've been to Gettysburg 7 times, and very, very familiar with that history there.
yeah, my brother Matt is an avid historian and a scholarly historian. I tend to be more of a functional historian, in that I like to learn the skills historically used. But Matt, you're like a textbook for this stuff. It's really just like you know everything, which makes it my job a lot easier because I can just, hey Matt, what do you think about this?
It's excruciatingly hard not to break up twigs and help you.
It's excruciatingly hard not to ask you for help. I've thought about
You know,
5 or 6 times I've been thinking about, hey, you're just gonna
Why
grab
aren't these guys helping?
the hell is wrong with you guys?
Well,
Sitting
we're
here
doing this
talking.
for a reason, you know.
Okay, I think I'm getting somewhere. I got enough, I think, where I'm kind of getting to the point where I can.
We were talking about, we were just talking about Man in the Wilderness.
Oh,
where
yeah.
Richard Harris got mauled. I'm sure all you guys know
Or the
movie.
Revenant, if you haven't seen it, similar.
Where he got mauled by the Greys, and and he, this guy, he had to basically do everything that Johnny's doing right here. And he was just destroyed by that Greys, and
I just remembered I have teeth. Yum. Fiber.
If you had one hand, you could just put minibar bottles through your knuckles like Liam Neeson.
That might be one of the worst villainous movies I've ever seen.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't even know what the Gray was that?
The Gray,
that
The
was?
Grey, yeah.
He fights the dire wolf.
Yeah. This is like the most evil wolves on the face. Like they had nothing better to do than to hunt people. We love hunting people.
Like Satan's hounds.
It's like the hounds of hell.
I
All right.
gotta say, some of the best times in my life I had with the Scouts, though.
Absolutely.
There's a lot of good
camping
times.
with this
Like I
guy.
say, I got nothing bad to say.
Absolutely not. But
We had so much fun, so many adventures,
all right.
But now we're doing it all over again, right, Buck?
We're doing it for ourselves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
This
I
time
should grab my
the,
fire steel with my broken. All right.
None of the fishing instructors got hooked.
Yeah, that's true. None of the fishing instructors got hooked. Always a classic.
But I'm always hooked. I'm hooked on you guys.
Don't use that left arm.
I'm trying not to. I took my fire steel out of my pocket and completely switched hands with it over here. So I'm going to kind of put my tinder here. I'm going to give myself a little log over here. And we'll see what we can do with this.
Now remember, I think that 4x4 is this one.
Yeah, I'm going to try it, I think. Putting the knife in a little bit of a different way. See if it
Okay.
works.
All right. Okay.
All right, hopefully that'll work. We'll see. So what I'm going to do now, guys, keep your finger, hold on, what was that, Jurassic Park? Hold on to your butts.
Hold on to your butts.
I'm going to try to wedge my knife up against this thing without cutting my toes off. That's the operative thing. Otherwise, my next video will be me making a fire with one leg.
Again, and remember, at this particular point in time, you're cold, you're injured.
You're shivering. This is really
Probably
under
not
ideal conditions.
thinking the best, right?
No.
Comrades are too distracted
So
talking
what are
about
you-
movies and making fun of you.
So what I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to drop my sparks down onto the tinder bundle. There we go. Couldn't have asked for better. Now don't put it out with the lug. And I'm just going to start feeding these little baby twigs I got there, right on top here.
What you need there.
There's a little catch.
What did Anthony Hopkins say in that movie? Most people in the wilderness die of
Was it shame?
Yeah.
Fear? Embarrassment?
shame, I think.
Guys, ladies and gentlemen, that's a successful fire right there.
One-armed fire.
One-armed fire.
One-armed fire.
It only took an hour and a half under ideal conditions. But, all right, guys, let's take that as a challenge. I'm challenging you guys. Go out, do a one-handed fire. All right?
That was great.
Thanks
That
for
was
sitting with us
really good.
for some good conversation.
Really, really good.
Guys, Bushcraft Bums, help us build the community. We'll build it together. I'm burning my legs here. Have a wonderful night. We'll see you on the trail.